Jai Shri Ram. Many religions criticize idol worship, but they have their own idols. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter 5th shloka, Krishna says, Kleshodhika tarastesham avyakta saktachetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. For those whose minds are devoted to the unmanifest formless God, the path of realization is full of difficulties. Worshipping the unmanifest is exceedingly difficult for embodied beings like us. Because we are embodied beings, it is difficult for us to visualize the formless and unmanifest. Krishna is giving you practical advice. When there is no tangible object to relate to, the mind and senses have serious difficulty visualizing God. Now, 12th chapter 5th shlokam I am reading again. Kleshodhika tarastesham avyakta saktachetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. Klesha, difficulties, tribulations. So, now, Krishna repeats his recommendation, that is to worship the personal form. You can choose your own Ishtadevata. You are free to choose what makes you happy, isn't it? See, a simple analogy can be like this. In the film industry, in the field of entertainment, at one time there were only black and white movies and they were silent movies. And later on sound was added, color was added. Now we have movies which are 3D and you have this IMAX screens. You are fully immersed and the experience is tremendous. In fact, they are trying to introduce smell also into the movies. So why? To influence the spectator better, to influence a person better. Anything that influences the human senses better does well in achieving the objective. In this case, it is entertainment. So we love watching these movies. Similarly, if you have an idol which you can see, touch and feel, the mind is influenced faster and it can concentrate better. Instead of if you have to depend on some formless fellow and on top of it they say their God is formless and they are turning to the west to pray. How can you know that your formless God is in the western direction? If he has a form, he can be in some direction. And they say his face is everywhere. How can that be possible? If God has a face, then it has to be only in one direction. It can't be in every direction. If he has a face, it means he has a form. And he needs a throne also. That means he has a form. He needs a footstool also. That means he has a foot and a leg and he has a form. So these fools, their thinking, their unholy books are full of lechery, butchery, treachery and total irrational absurdities. And that is why these people are completely cut off from the love of God. And as a result, their personality gets disoriented, they become demented, and they become frustrated, and then they behave like beasts. They lose all sense of morality. See, this is how Patanam starts. Even within Hinduism, there are many people who condemn idol worship without really thinking about the practical benefits. You see, let us discuss one more concept here. See, there are two paths in bhakti. In fact, bhakti is compared to Markata Kishora Nyaya, the logic of the baby monkey. Markata Kishora Nyaya, which means the baby monkey clings hard to the mother monkey. That is compared to bhakti. Now, prapatti is when God himself is taking care of you. That is called Marjara Kishora Nyaya, the logic of the baby kitten. If you have seen a tiger or a cat, it clutches its young one in its mouth and carefully carries it. You know how powerful the tiger's jaws are. But it holds its cub so very gently and takes it to safety. So this is called prapatti. when you become eligible to acquire God's grace, anugraham, you have to acquire the eligibility. For the eligibility, prapatti rules I will discuss earlier. I have already discussed, I will discuss towards the end later. So if you become eligible for prapatti, God will take care of you. Then you don't have to worry. He is taking care of you. That is called Marjara. Marjara Kishora Nyaya. Now bhakti, you have to cling on to it. That is Markata Kishora Nyaya. Now we can actually also use this analogy to compare it with worship of the unmanifest. That is worship of the formless God. So for the formless God, you have to cling like a monkey. You can't even cling because he doesn't have a form. Still you are told to cling. There is no form and you have to cling. Just imagine how difficult it is. So these fools in these two desert cults, they have their own images. Their holy book itself is an image. After all, how do you define an idol? An idol is something that is held in great respect. So the book which is made of paper is held in great respect. Would they allow us to put our foot on it? No, that would be blasphemous, sacrilege, they'll cut your neck. So that is your idol. Your place of worship is your idol. And you have so many other objects. I don't want to name them because we are living in treacherous times. Some idiot will file a case. So I have to be extra careful. I am not naming anybody, but the truth has to be told. Satyameva Jayate is our national motto. It is not bullshiteva Jayate. If it had been bullshiteva Jayate, then I would, I don't know what to do. But right now it looks like it is bullshiteva Jayate. Because if you speak the Satyam, then you are in for serious trouble. So, see, the worship of the formless God, the formless Brahman is very difficult because we humans possess a form. We have a form ourselves and we have been habituated to interacting with forms in endless lifetimes. Therefore, when we strive to love God as well, our mind naturally seeks out a form. And once we have a form, an Ishta Devata, an idol, we can touch, feel, meditate, and we can even converse with God. It's an amazing experience. Tulsi Ram Krupal So Kahi Sunao Gun Dos. Tulsi Ram Krupal So Kahi Sunao Gun Dos. Hoye Dubari Deenata Param Peen Santosh. Tulsi Das says, if you have any problems, why don't you confide in Rama? Tulsi Ram Krupal So Kahi Sunao Gun Dos. You tell him about your guna and doshas. That is your virtues and your good points and your weaknesses, foibles, failings and your vices. You confide in Rama and Rama will give a patient hearing. Tulsi Ram Krupal So Kahi Sunao Gunadosh Hoye Dubari Deenata Parampin Santosh. That means all this deenata, all the misery will go away because Rama's grace and anugraham is such that all these sufferings will melt away, will disappear, and you will Paramapin Santosh. That is the Avadhi Bhasha, you see. Avadhi, Braj Bhasha, it's a mixture of so many bhashas. So, Paramapin Santosh means you will experience great bliss, great joy. So, have you ever talked to Rama? Have you ever talked to your Ishta Devata? Start talking. That is the best way to cultivate a relationship with God. Don't let these idiots and fools tell you that idol worship is bad. Tell them to go to hell. They themselves have an image and a photograph and ID card. Why can't God? If God decides to take a form, who are these fools to tell him, no, sir, you can't take a form? Ask them, is God omnipotent? Which means all powerful, can he do anything? They'll say yes. And in which case, if God decides to take a form, who the hell are you to tell God not to take a form? So go to hell. And Aptavakyam, when Rama, Krishna are themselves saying, you can go ahead and have your Ishta Devata, who the hell are these idiots to tell us that we cannot do idol worship? If the word idol worship has acquired a negative name, that is, I think we allowed it. Yeah. Okay, we will call it deity worship. We are not worshipping the idol anyway. See, anyway, God is in everything. God is in the very stone that with which we make the idol. Krishna is in the clay with which we make the idol. Krishna is the stone, within the stone, in the subatomic particle. God is immanent, God is transcendent. So, Krishna is everywhere. So, why can't he be there in an idol? Simple logic. So, coming back to our discussion and the analogies of Markata Kishora Nyaya and Marjara Kishora Nyaya, the devotees of the formless can be compared to the baby monkey. And the devotees of the Ishta Devata can be compared to the baby kitten, who are being personally taken care of. Rama Krishna is personally taking care of me. These baby monkeys, they have to cling to their formless God. They have a form, and their formless God, these fellows are trying to cling to somebody who has no form, and that results in frustration and finally degeneration, and finally they become terrorists. They commit all kinds of crimes. Every crime is made legal in their religion. The only condition is it should be against those who don't believe in our God. So this is the level of degradation they have gone down to. Every crime is legal. In fact, every crime is a duty. They have to perform every crime as a duty if the person, the victim, is an infidel. INFIDEL. That means an unbeliever. That means one who does not worship my God. If that fellow doesn't worship my God, you can kill, butcher, torture, you can rape, murder, loot, plunder, commit every crime and treat it as a holy duty. Oh my God. This is the level of degradation. And many great pseudo scholars are praising these books and saying all religions are good. Sarva dharma samabhava rubbish. There is only one dharma. And sarva mata samabhava is also not possible. These are paths to hell. Only Sanatana Dharma. Only Sanatana Dharma will lead you to God. So I am repeating my example again. You see, when praying, if you have an idol in front of you, get yourself an idol. I kept many idols. And I sit in front of Rama and discuss. I am constantly looking at Rama. I am constantji looking at Hanumanji. And so many pictures. And Sitamma. I am constantly looking at Sitamma. Imploring Sitamma, please tell Rama. Recommending. Because Sitamma is compassionate. Sita Karunya Rupaya. So she is the embodiment of Karunyam. So I am constantly requesting her to please tell Rama to save me, help me. And so life becomes so easier. You are literally talking to God. And the answers keep coming, by the way, hello. So when you are praying, please get your own Ishta Devata, nice idol. And you can touch, feel, serve. And your mind is influenced sooner and you can concentrate better. And the reactions are faster and better. You can feel the reactions. You feel, when we go to a temple, we circumambulate the deity. That is so that the positive vibrations can be imbibed. Now, when you are concentrating continuously and you are in touch with your God, the vibrations are so powerful. And so, the example I gave you was in the field of entertainment from black and white pictures, silent movies, we moved on to color, Eastman color. Then sound was added, dialogues were added. Now we have vibrant colors. And with all the scientific developments that are there, we have wide screen, 70 mm, iMac, special, God knows all kinds of scientific effects, sound effects, and now smell, 3D. Why? To influence a person better. And anything that influences us, influences our senses better, will enable us to enjoy the movie better. Similarly with religion. You are free to choose what makes you spiritual, religious, happy, isn't it? That freedom is given by the Constitution also, isn't it? So who the hell are these idiots to tell us not to do idol worship? So in praying also, the objective is always the same. As in movies, with all the technology, if you are better entertained, similarly in religion, use all the technology so that you are better influenced by your continuous interaction with your Ishta Devata. So, how you achieve this communion with God is a personal choice. Don't let these pseudo reformers influence your mind about why idol worship is bad and all that. Tell them to go to bloody hell. Jai Shri Ram.